a frozen plain at the foot of Santa Catalina Hill. 8 months under siege. Inside the city, the wells are dry. Outside, the Castilian army waits in silence. And then, a single figure comes out of the city. He rides alone, without an escort, without banners. A man with a red beard who proclaimed himself Emir of Granada just 2 years ago. They call him Alamar the Red. When he arrives at the Christian king's pavilion, he does something that no Muslim king on the peninsula had ever done before. He dismounts, King of the Christians, and he kneels. My kingdom is yours. I will be yours now. My blood will defend you. He kisses his hand. At that moment, the last Islamic kingdom of Spain is born. And it is born already defeated. The question is, who is the man who receives that kiss?
The man who receives the kiss?
We have to go back 45 years. Summer of 1201, Monastery of Valparaíso, Zamora. Berenguela of Castile goes into labor while traveling with her husband. There, a boy named Fernando is born. The problem starts at birth. His father, Alfonso IX of León, is his mother's blood uncle. Pope Innocent III has annulled the marriage due to consanguinity, but has declared the children legitimate. Fernando grows up between two courts that don't understand each other. And then, on June 6, 1217, something absurd happens. The King of Castile is named Henry I. He is 13 years old. He plays in the courtyard of the Episcopal Palace of Palencia. A roof tile comes loose from the roof. It hits him on the head. He dies. The throne passes to his older sister, Berenguela, Fernando's mother. But on July 2nd in the market square of Valladolid, she publicly abdicates.
Legitimate ones. The father, the true king, is determined by blood. And my son has the blood of Castile.
Fernando is 16 years old. The nobility does not accept him. His own father invades Castile to claim the throne. Father against son, uncle against nephew. The civil war lasts 1 year. In August of 1218, Fernando becomes the undisputed king, and he still hasn't turned 18. Throne. "13 years go by. Fernando has married Beatrice of Swabia, granddaughter of the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire and of Byzantium. The Archbishop of Toledo describes her with 4 words in Latin.
Excellent, beautiful, wise, and modest. Very good, beautiful, wise, and modest.
He will have 10 children with her, among them the future wise king. But in the autumn of 1230, Alfonso IX of León dies. And in his will, he leaves the kingdom to 2 daughters from a previous marriage, not to Fernando. If that will is carried out, the separation between Castile and León, which has lasted 73 years, will become eternal. Berenguela travels to Benavente. She meets again with Teresa, the mother of the heiresses. Castile and León negotiate. The princesses receive a generous lifelong pension. They renounce the throne. On November 7th, Fernando is crowned King of León. Now Fernando can look to the south. Al-Andalus is fractured. The Almohad Empire collapsed at the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa 23 years ago. And the most coveted prize is called Córdoba. Night of December 23rd, 1235, a handful of frontier Almogavars approach the eastern wall. They are dressed in the Muslim style. They speak Arabic. Cordobans dissatisfied with their governor have informed them. The guard is lax in the Exarchia. They throw the ladders. They climb up in silence. They kill the sentinels, and they open the gate of Martos from the inside. Fernando III is wintering in Benavente, 500 kilometers away. He rides in the middle of winter across the plateau and arrives in Córdoba on February 7th, 1236. But Ibn Hud, the Muslim leader of Murcia, is advancing with a much larger army. Lorenzo Suárez de Larrainato, an exiled knight, requests an audience with the king.
My lord, let me go to their leader dressed as a Moor. I will tell them that you are more than you really are. You, meanwhile,
Light 1,000 bonfires.
in the night.
The bonfires burn on the hills. Ibn Hud, convinced that he is facing an impossible army, retreats to Almería. Inside the city, hunger tightens its grip. On Saturday, June 29, 1236, Córdoba surrenders. There is no massacre. The king shows magnanimity toward his enemies. And then Fernando orders something that will cross Castile. 239 years earlier, Almanzor had devastated Santiago de Compostela and had taken the bells from the Basilica of the Apostle to Córdoba, carried on the shoulders of Christian captives. Those bells were still there. Fernando orders them to be taken down, and he orders that they return to Compostela exactly as they came, carried on shoulders. This time they undo it, Muslim captives. Memory is also justice. Ten years have passed since Córdoba. Écija, Estepa, Marchena, Morón, and Carmona fall one after another. And so, battle by battle, we arrive at the scene with which this video began. Alamar the Red makes the smartest decision of his life. He knows he'll lose Granada without a deal. The Pact of Jaén turns Granada into a fief of Castile. 150,000 maravedis annually. Military assistance whenever Castile requests it. Granada will exist for 246 more years. The Alhambra, which today is visited by millions of tourists, is built from the very first brick within a vassal kingdom. But Fernando still lacks the biggest prize. Seville, 1247. The Almohad capital on the peninsula. 100,000 inhabitants. Double walls, gold and silver towers on the Guadalquivir, and a bridge. 13 boats tied together with iron chains connect the city to Triana and supply it. If the bridge doesn't fall, Seville cannot be taken. Fernando calls Ramón Bonifaz. He orders him to build a fleet in the 4 towns on the Cantabrian coast: Laredo, Castro Urdiales, Santander, San Vicente de la Barquera. 13 sailing ships, 5 galleys. It is the first documented Castilian fleet in history. Bonifaz sails up the Guadalquivir and stops before the bridge. 2 Castilian ships get ready. First assault. The bridge creaks. Hold on. They gain momentum again. Projectiles and Greek fire rain down from the Torre del Oro. Second charge. The chain breaks. The bridge splits all the way across. Seville is left isolated. 6 more months of hunger. On November 23, 1248, the Cade Sataf hands over the keys to the king. Fernando enters on December 22. The largest city of Iberian Islam is now Castilian. 4 years pass. Fernando plans to cross the strait and take the war to Morocco, but his body gives out. He falls ill in the Royal Alcazar of Seville. On May 30, 1252, he puts on the penitent's habit, asks God for forgiveness, and dies. His son Alfonso, who will be known as the Wise, orders a tomb to be made for him. And for the epitaphs, he does not choose just one language. He chooses 4. In Latin for the church, in Spanish for the people, in Arabic for the mudajars, in Hebrew for the Jews protected by the crown. All 4 say the same thing. Here lies the king who won Spain. Fernando inherited a kingdom of 150,000 square kilometers. He left almost 3 times as much. He translated the Fuero Juzgo into Castilian and turned the vernacular into the language of laws. He reaffirmed the University of Salamanca's privileges. He began the Gothic cathedrals of Burgos and Toledo. He made Granada a vassal. When people talk about the great medieval kings of Europe, they mention Richard the Lionheart, St. Louis of France, Frederick II of Sicily. Ferdinand III rarely appears on those lists. He should top them. If you think this story deserves to be told, subscribe and share this video. Because if we don't tell our story, no one will do it for us. Memory is not given, it is claimed.